Ahoy fellas, Frankie Dave back again on YouTube. Today on YouTube, this is update build report on Warren's 20th Century United States Aircraft Group Build Update number 3. Okay fellas, as I left off in the last video, a lot of you out there noticed a lot of putty was applied on the airplane. That's a little more than I usually do though, but I ran out of sheet styrene so I could fill in some of those gaps, so that excess putty kind of paid off in the end anyway. The sanding was a piece of cake for me. More sanding the better. I wouldn't have it any other way. Anyway, folks, as per update, build report on my puff, I went ahead and sanded the putty off, wet dried it using 320 wet and dry sandpaper, using plenty of water, and using Joyce soap as a lubricant for sanding off the filler. Like I say, Bondo is very easy to sand. It's very strong and don't shrink. A lot of people, I used to use that Squadron putty and also Green Magic, and believe you me, those putties are a jip. And in time it shrinks. All of a sudden your seams will appear again, and you'll be in a world of awe because of the shrinkage of putty, and your seams will open up again on your fuselage on your build. Anyway, that's Puff Magic Dragon. I spent about a good 2 hours sanding down the putty off of it and everything. I took my time on it, and I applied its first coat of putty, filler coat, primer coat. Excuse me, fellas, a little tongue-tied. I applied the first coat of primer coat on it, and I checked for some imperfections. A couple on there that need to be filled in again with my choice of body filler as Bondo. And right after this video, I'll just go ahead and fill those imperfections in, let it dry overnight, and go back and wet dry sand it again and give it another coat of primer. And after the primer is applied, I'll go ahead and fill in the flap wells and go ahead and add the landing flaps to it and give it the final prime and get it ready for painting, for its final painting. Other than that, that's about as far as I got today on it, and I was checking out some of you guys' builds out there. You guys got some good stuff going on. Freddie, he's got a beautiful Sugar Baker Douglas right there by Trumpeter and Dotless. You know, like I say, it's a shame when a man like Freddie, I salute to you, buddy. Serviceman, like myself, and a lot of other fellows that's on here, and you pay good hard-earned money for a kit that's over $100, and you look at the horizontal stabilizer, there's gaps on it. That same thing happened to my Albatross. I kid you not. There was a lot of gaps around the wing roots attached to the fuselage, and I tell you, you know, it makes you wonder. But anyway, make a long story short, you just gotta put up with it. So anyway, Freddie, your Dotless is looking. Okay, fellas, here we are, Lazy Susan right here. I spin around a little bit. You can see that the putty's all sanded off. I had one coat of primer on there, and I'll zoom a little bit. I'll point out with my pointer stick of imperfections. Right along that wing root on the left side of the port side of the wing right there, it needs a little more, tad more filler right there. It may not look like it needs it right there from your fellas' eyes, but I'm the worst critic in the world is my own builds. And I want to make sure that's all squared away. And right across over here, there's a little imperfection right there. He's added a little filler right there. I'll tell you folks, this is about the 5th 1/48 scale monogram C-47 I've ever built, and this is about the worst one I've ever built. I don't know what happened to the molds of this kit though, but this kit was pure a hair puller. An imperfection right along the side of the dorsal spine to the vertical stabilizer needs to be filled as well. And we'll zoom in a little bit right there. I got tissue inside the door. I didn't fill in where the door openings are at there because they're left unopened to show it. As you can see right there on the right side of the where the stick is at, I need imperfection needs to be sanded right there. Also along the wing root too. it needs to be filled also. A little touch of filler right there. I'll put it on her back, and we'll take a look see on the other side of it, and I'll point out some imperfections that need to be filled in. See, that's why it was good about primer paint, boys. That stuff right there will tell tales. It'll tell you 1,000 stories. As you can see right there, it needs to be filled in right there. Those two indentations there of the rear section of the trailing edge of the wing, that's purposely done by the kid only. That's not doesn't need to be filled. Right along the area where that stick I just showed you right there needs to be filled. Also on the leading edge right there, fillet right there, the fuselage, a little touch of filler needs right there too as well. And like I say, I'm my own worst critic I myself is. Needs a little bit of the nose right there too. That needs to be filled in also. And we'll swing around a little bit, see if I can find somewhere else that needs to be filled in. Right alongside there where the fuselage is joined at, there's a little seam there that needs to be filled in as well. And the model will give a good wet dry sanding, and I'll go ahead and repeat the process if I give it the final prime before I go to the final color. And right away, I'll tilt the wing a little bit closer to the camera. You can see on the trailing edge of the wings of the flap wells. They will be filled in with sheet styrene. I went to my favorite hobby shop today. I got me some sheet styrene, so they'll be filled in right there. And I'll detail out the wells, the flap wells too, and also I'll make some new landing flaps. Put it back on the back again, boys, and we'll take another look around, see if I can find something else to show you on here. Yeah, apparently it looks like I got everything here. Let me spin around a little more, see if I can find something. And I'm always finding something on here. I want a little bit too much thinner on the primer. So on the next primer coat, on the final primer coat, I'll add a thicker, a heavier coat of primer. And let it dry 24 hours before I go to the finished color on it. Right there, there's an imperfection right there. It needs to be filled in. No big deal, boys. No big deal. Well, it looks like about it, fellas. I'll zoom out, and we'll go and finish up the video. Thumbs up. There you go, fellas. That completes the update number 3 on my Puff the Magic Dragon CHC-47 gunship. And so I want to finish up this video. I'm going to go ahead and apply the filler putty on that dry overnight and go back and wet dry sand it tomorrow. And go ahead and give the airplane its last filler coat, last primer coat before I go to other sub-assemblies and also for its final color. And so it looks pretty good now, so I got that filler off there. So, like I say, I make magic out of these things. And like I said before, this is about the worst 1/4 inch scale C-47 I've ever built. I mean, I've built a lot of them by Monogram, but something must have went wrong with the molds of this. I know it wasn't me, but and there was all kinds of gaps. It was just a lemon kit. You'll get them once in a while, and to me, I wouldn't have any other way. It gives me something to do. Okay, fellas, I think I'm ready to close off this video right here. And before I close, I'd like to once again thank everybody for tuning in. And also, please subscribe. And I love all your comments. And